Call to order the Tuesday, May 15th, 2018 meeting of the Iredell County Board of Commissioners. At this time, if you'll please bow your head in a moment of silent prayer or reflection. At this time, we will skip just a little bit ahead of the normal adjustments to the agenda. And we have a special group that is with us this evening for a recognition. The South Iredell Marine Corps Junior ROTC Training Corps is going to take the dais and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. And then we will roll into a presentation, and after the presentation, we'll do any adjustments to the agenda. If you'll please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. We have the distinct honor of having the South Iredell Marine Corps Junior ROTC, and I'd ask that Mr. Ron Wyatt, our Register of Deeds, please introduce them.
Thank you, General Mallory. It's my pleasure, having graduated from South Iredell, excuse me, in 1984, before there was an ROTC program at any of the high schools in Iredell County. As a young Marine, I got called back to South Iredell in 1986 to speak with one of the first ROTC classes that was there. It's also a personal privilege of mine to recognize Top Fisher as their NCO in charge, who is a personal friend also from back in those years. This particular group is the Marine Corps Junior ROTC National Championship Drill Team for 2018. Preparation for this competition started in August of 2017 as the cadets vowed to return after a 9th place finish in the spring of 17. The cadets spent hours practicing, often arriving on campus in the darkness of early morning to practice for an hour before school began. The regiment consisted of routines of armed platoon, unarmed platoon, color guard, exhibition drill. The focus of their practice was on the smallest details. Prior to nationals, they competed in several other drill meets for the region, determined to return to nationals this year. Winning this is an indescribable, as all the cadets have said. All the hard work and dedication has proven well worth it. South Iredell cadets took first place in armed regulation platoon led by Cadet First Lieutenant Ty McBride, unarmed exhibition platoon led by Cadet Major Liza, I'm sorry if I mispronounce your name, Liza Cineros. Color Guard led by Cadet Gunnery Sergeant Michael French. Cadet Gunnery Sergeant Michael French also won Outstanding Drill Commander for Color Guard. South Iredell also took second place in personal inspection, led by Cadet First Lieutenant Mackenzie Scardo. Cadets also placed individually in unarmed knockout, and Cadet Major Everett finishing in 8th place. For armed knockout, Cadet Second Lieutenant Allen finished in 10th, and Cadet First Lieutenant McBride finished 3rd. As you all can see, and please list all as I recognize each member of the team. Major Liza Cineros, First Lieutenant Ty McBride, First Lieutenant Mackenzie Scardero, Major Rachel Everett, Second Lieutenant Hunter Allen, Master Sergeant Garrett Tomey, Sergeant Major Tara Grogan, Second Lieutenant Dylan Bergoni, Second Lieutenant Benjamin Morrison, Gunnery Sergeant Michael French, Staff Sergeant Madison Parker, Gunnery Sergeant Dylan Thompson, Gunnery Sergeant Nathaniel Thompson, Sergeant Jeremy McKinney, Staff Sergeant Cassidy Harper, Staff Sergeant Lauren Young, Sergeant Ellen Shaver, Staff Sergeant James Weist, Sergeant Gina Pearsall, Lance Corporal Bobby Loudermilk, Lance Corporals Evan Halt, Lance Corporal William Hendricks, Lance Corporal Timothy Cothran, and Lance Corporal Tammy McKinney. If you all in the audience would give a round of applause for each of those individuals. The Viking Marine Corps Junior ROTC drill team has a long history of success spanning back to the early 80s when the ROTC program began. Over the past 12 years, more emphasis has been put on the drill team, where they have been regional champions in 2012, 13, and 14. It is customary that the cadets from South Iredell finish in the top 3 overall in every competition they compete in. The cadets have maintained the winning tradition of the program year after year. I am proud to say that they're South Iredell Vikings and products of the Iredell Statesville school system. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. White.
Would you like to add anything?
I would like to thank the committee for taking time out of their schedule to recognize these young men and women. To everybody out in the audience, especially my parents. The parents are very supportive of what these young men and women are doing. I can't say enough for their commitment and dedication. And like Mr. White said, long tradition of winning, but it goes beyond that. It's about a work ethic that they're developing at a very young age. So when they go out into the world, they'll be productive citizens of society. And I would like to give an opportunity for a couple of my seniors to speak, but in closing, these young men and women embody the core values of honor, courage, and commitment. See you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am the commanding officer of this great program in security at South Iredell High School. My name is Cadet Major Cisneros. I have been on drill team for 4 years and have been in the program for 4 years. It's a great pleasure for me because my family is all about Army, but I had to become a devil dog, right? So it's a real extreme experience for me, and I am extremely proud to be the head of the program and getting the title, winning the title, earning the title of National Drill Champion in 2018. I would like first drill commander.
I'm Cadet First Lieutenant Brad. I'm the drill commander of this drill team. As well, just like her, I've been on drill team my 4 years in high school, and I loved every minute of it. And just to be able to have these cadets and be able to lead these cadets to a competition like this, and to be able to actually win and accomplish a great feat, it's just been amazing. It's just like indescribable. Just the feeling. And, ever since I can remember, I always wanted to be a Marine, so joining this program was just the best fit for me. And after I graduated high school, I plan on joining the Marine Corps.
Thank you very much. And Major, just so you know, Chairman of the County Commission is a retired general from the Army, and Marvin Norman's also in the Army service. So they appreciate what you said. Even so, some of us devil dogs might not.
All right, at this time, I'd like to read the proclamation, and then we'll adopt that as a motion. This is an Iredell County, North Carolina proclamation, a recognition of the Marine Corps Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps. Whereas the Iredell County Board of Commissioners wish to recognize hard work, dedication, and determination of our youth. And whereas the South Iredell High School Marine Corps Junior ROTC spent countless hours practicing routines of armed platoon, unarmed platoon, color guard, and exhibition drills. And whereas the Viking Marine Corps JROTC drill team has a long history of success in competition. Over the past 12 years, the drill team was regional champion in 2012, 2013, and 2014. And whereas South Iredell cadets took first place in Armed Regulation Platoon led by Cadet First Lieutenant Ty McBride, Unarmed Exhibition Platoon led by Cadet Major Liza Cisneros, Color Guard led by Cadet Gunnery Sergeant Michael French. Cadet Gunnery Sergeant Michael French also won Outstanding Drill Commander for the Color Guard. South Iredell also took second place in Personal Inspection led by Cadet First Lieutenant Mackenzie Scardo. Cadets also placed individually in Unarmed Knockout with Cadet Major Everett finishing 8th place, and for Armed Knockout, Cadet Second Lieutenant Allen finished in 10th, and Cadet First Lieutenant McBride finished in 3rd. And whereas the Iredell County Board of Commissioners recognized this group, along with their leader, Master Sergeant Michael E. Fisher, for a job well done. Is there a motion to adopt this proclamation?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed, the Board of Commissioners acknowledges and congratulates South Iredell Marine Corps JROTC as the National Drill Championship 2018 Overall Champions, adopted this 15th day of May 2018. We're going to see what the spontaneous drill team counter column and everything else can be put together to move them center and facing out so we can get some pictures, and I'll give the proclamation to Master Sergeant Fisher. Stand up. Heat. Rest. Okay, this is just a great opportunity to be able to see the future of our country, the future of our community, performing so well objectively in competition with the best of the nation. And I have to say, you know, the ROTC programs that we have in our high schools, and we have them in 5 of 6, representing different branches of the armed services. It's a citizenship program. Because you're in it doesn't mean that you're signing up, but the caliber of folks that come into the program and the training that they receive puts you in an outstanding position to be highly competitive in multiple opportunities to serve your country, whether it's enlisting, whether it's going on to college and being in ROTC and getting a commission, or ultimately going to OCS, or making a career, or first-term enlistment and coming out. No matter what you choose, what you've done is remarkable and gives us a warm and fuzzy about the future of America and the future of our community. And I'll just say that, 1 out of 100 individuals join the service. 72 out of 100 couldn't join the service if they wanted to, because they don't meet minimum qualifications and standards. You meet all those qualifications and standards. You're in that 28% that does. And everybody's competing for you, not just the armed forces, but colleges and businesses and government. So you're the leaders of the future. And while only 1 out of 10 generally raises their right hand and answers the call to the colors, in Iredell County, there is roughly 3%, 3 out of 100, 3 times the national average serve their country. And that just is a great testament to not only yourselves, but your parents, your schools, and your junior ROTC cadre and leadership. So thank you, and I won't say hua, I'll say hoorah, and good luck, Godspeed, and what do they say in the Navy? Fair winds and following seas. Carry on. Well, now it's all downhill from there. Really. If we could do adjustments to the agenda, please, Ms. Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We do have a few adjustments. We need to remove item number 8.4 under Administrative Matters, which is the Animal Services Petco grant. That needs some additional contractual work, so we will be bringing that forward at the next meeting. There is an addition under announcements of vacancies occurring on boards and commissions, which is the announcement of one additional Mitchell Community College Board of Trustee, and then a clarification on appointments to boards and commissions. We announced for 2 weeks an opening on the Recreation Advisory Board, and we received 2 applications. Since that announcement, we have received an additional resignation on that board, which gives us 2 openings, and there are actually 2 applications. So the board will need to give some consideration regarding that as far as further action.
Are there any further adjustments to the agenda? A motion to approve the agenda as amended.
So moved.
All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously. We have already dealt with item 5.1 of the recognition of the South Iredell Marine Corps Junior ROTC Corps. We move on to appointment before the board. We have a request from Ms. Blair Ritchie to proclaim May 20th through 26th, 2018 as Emergency Medical Services Week.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Thank you for hearing our request to proclaim EMS Week, May 20th through 26th of 2018.
Okay, I do have a proclamation for our consideration. EMS Week proclamation to designate the week of May 20th through 26th, 2018 as Emergency Medical Services Week. Whereas emergency medical services is a vital public service, and whereas the members of emergency medical services teams are ready to provide life-saving care to those in need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and whereas access to quality emergency care dramatically improves the survival and recovery rate of those who experience sudden illness or injury, and whereas the emergency medical services system consists of first responders, emergency medical technicians, paramedics, firefighters, educators, administrators, emergency nurses, emergency physicians, and others. And whereas the members of emergency medical services teams, whether career or volunteer, engage in thousands of hours of specialized training and continuing education to enhance their life-saving skills. And whereas Iredell County desires to continue to improve upon its emergency medical services system in order to assure all citizens the highest standards of emergency medical care. And whereas it is appropriate to recognize the value and accomplishments of emergency medical services providers by designating Emergency Medical Services Week. Now, at this time, is there a motion to adopt this proclamation?
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Motion. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Therefore, the Iredell County Board of Commissioners, in recognition of this event, do hereby proclaim the week of May 20th to 26th, 2018 as Emergency Services Week. With the theme Stronger Together, we encourage the community to observe this week with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities. This 15th day of May 2018, Iredell County Board of Commissioners. Thank you.
Take a second to thank this group for your continued support of our operations. Otherwise, we could not do what we do. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay. At this time, I would ask Ms. Jones to please summarize those matters that were presented at the pre-agenda meeting at 5 o'clock and are appropriate for our consent agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The first item was a request from the Finance Department for approval to revise the receipt processing requirement for county departments. There's a request from the Health Department for approval of the fee policy revisions and proposed fee schedules for 2018-2019. A request from the Public Library to approve an application for a Better World Books literacy grant in the amount of $3,217. A request from the Tax Administration for approval of the April refunds and releases, and then a request from the Clerk to the Board for approval for minutes from the meetings of April 17th and May 1st of 2018.
Thank you. Are there any comments or questions concerning the consent agenda? Is there a motion to adopt the consent agenda as outlined by Ms. Jones?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Norman. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously. At this time, item 9, which is announcement of vacancies occurring on boards and commissions. Ms. Jones, could you go ahead and run down these?
Absolutely. We have 10 announcements on the Adult Care Home Community Advisory Committee, 3 announcements for the Central Carolina Workforce Development, 2 announcements for Historical Properties, 5 announcements for JCPC, 1 announcement for the Iredell County Planning Board, 1 announcement for Region F Aging Advisory Committee, 1 announcement for Troutman Planning ETJ, and 1 announcement for the Mitchell Community College Board of Trustees.
Thank you, Ms. Jones. Just for those of you who may wonder what JCPC is, that's the Juvenile Crime Prevention Council. Okay. There's no action for us to take. That is simply notifying everyone of the opportunities. We encourage folks to visit our county website. You can review the requirements and the purposes and the missions of each of these organizations, and also submit your application for consideration. Appointments to boards and commissions. We have 2 appointments to the Recreation Advisory Council. Originally, 1 was scheduled. We had a last-minute vacancy created. We do have 2 applicants. So I would ask if there is a motion to suspend the rules and waive the 2-week notification process and subsequent appointment of the additional appointments so that we can dispose and appoint both this evening.
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we suspend the rules and go ahead and appoint both of these positions this evening.
Okay. Motion to suspend the rules. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously. We'll move on. Is there a motion concerning the appointment of to fill these 2 vacancies?
Mr. Chairman, I make that motion. Motion is to appoint Seth Hank Hethcock and Scott Bell.
Okay.
Both have volunteered to serve.
Motion by Commissioner Norman. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously. We have no unfinished business that I'm aware of. This is a public comment period meeting. We've checked. I don't believe anyone has signed up.
No, sir.
To be heard. I would inquire of anyone in the audience whether they would like to be heard. Seeing and hearing none, we will dispense with even opening that. Move on to new business. We had some discussions earlier at the pre-agenda, and I believe that Commissioner McNeely has an update concerning the I-77 toll lanes group meeting.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. We actually had a meeting this past May the 10th, so that would have been a week ago from yesterday, or excuse me, not May the 10th, but it would be May the, my date's right, May the 6th, May the 6th. In that meeting, there's roughly 12 people on this advisory board to the DOT, and Secretary Trogdon was there at the meeting also. Out of the 12 that were present on the advisory committee, 10 made the recommendation, which was option F, basically, was to complete and try to delete and buy out the contract. And with that, letting the Turnpike Authority be in control of this, still having to have one toll lane, but now having one extra general purpose lane all the way through. So at some point in time, it'd be either 2 to 3 general purpose lanes involved. We also made the request that there be no toll lanes over the causeway where the water's at, basically. That would be from 36 to 28. So that was the 10 out of 12. The 2 that were dissension were basically from the City Council of Charlotte and the Charlotte Chamber. They chose to keep the option exactly like it was proposed and is now. Secretary Trogdon takes all this under consideration. They are going to try to digest all the information that's been put forth in this 7 different meetings we had. And he is supposed to get back to us sometime the first part of July and tell us what the Department of Transportation has in mind and how they're going to go about their plan. But overwhelmingly, the committee chose not to continue the scope as it is right now. We chose to alter the scope. But there still will be, at some part and some time, some toll lanes involved.
Are there any additional questions of Commissioner McNeely?
I've got one question. How about the $145 million that was tied to the toll lane or the managed lane projects? Will that still be state funding coming to that corridor?
And you're talking about where that is to allow access points, correct?
Correct.
That is still going to be tied in. That is still part of the complete.
Is it? Okay.
That is still part of the complete. So we will see where we go. The good news, the contractor that does have it now is pretty much on time and looking to complete in the fall. So they're moving at a lot more faster pace than probably our Department of Transportation could. That is the good news. The bad news is our toll money will leave this country and go to a foreign country if things do not change. So we will see how things progress. I will keep you updated with any information I have on this.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner McNeely, for taking time to attend those meetings. You know, there's 3 different groups that meet to discuss this, you know, from the Charlotte Regional Transportation Planning Organization to our local Lake Norman Transportation Commission to this ad hoc organization that got up to speed to just specifically represent northern Mecklenburg and Iredell County communities to try to figure out how to make lemonade out of some lemons. And we'll just see what the price of that squeeze is.
Yes, we will.
That will determine what the ultimate options are. So thank you for that. Move on to the county manager's report. Ms. Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a few items to report. Before you is the updated inmate reduction report that we give you on a regular basis. Also, you have the annual 2018 annual stewardship report from the North Carolina Association of County Commissioners regarding the risk management pools, of which we're a member. This is something that they send out each year for the board, so that's before you as well. To let you know that this week, the governor has proclaimed this week, May 13th through the 19th, it's Hurricane Preparedness Week, and urges residents to update your emergency kits and plans because hurricane season begins June 1st and runs through November 30th. And also just a reminder and an announcement that June the 5th will be our scheduled budget public hearing. I want to thank publicly the board for all of their work. I know we've spent some long days together going through our budget workshops and going through the budget in detail, and I appreciate everyone's cooperation, amazing questions, and working with us and staff and the staff in preparing that budget. So we've had some lengthy days, but the public hearing is scheduled for the 5th.
Any further comments concerning, say, the budget until next 2 weeks from now?
I just wanted to say, as one of our General Government Task Force members, thank the staff for the hard work they did put in. Our budget retreats went smoothly, and so we don't foresee any upcoming hiccups unless you guys do. But I just wanted on Jeff and our behalf is to thank all the staff for the time and effort they put into this.
Further comments? I'll just say that this is, leading up to the budget, is sort of the culminating event of 6 months' worth of work. It started in our December retreat, where we took a look at anticipated revenues and general priorities. Followed up in our winter retreat in February, where we got a good deal more granularity and had issues identified by staff about, needs and areas that they desired additional resources. And at that time, we eliminated some, pushed some off, capital improvements, a number of different items, and got it down to a rough approximate. The guidance to staff was bring us a balanced budget. And the department heads, working together with our senior staff on the finance side and on our leadership, have made difficult choices, in some cases painful choices, understanding the budget constraints and the income constraints, and presented us a budget that that needed very little altering or changing, just a little around the edges to save a little bit, a few more dollars, and put a little bit more back for a rainy day. So we thank the staff for keeping the bottom line to the taxpayer foremost in their thoughts, while at the same time focusing on delivering the services that our citizens need and expect. So thank you very much. We did have a closed session for several attorney-client discussions. There are no due-outs from those discussions or actions to be taken. So at this time, is there anything further to come before the Commission? Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion to adjourn by Commissioner McNeely. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously. We are adjourned.